And welcome back to Career Build Series, episode 208. And in this video, we're going to continue working on the large seaplane.
Right, so let's go ahead and let's get in there. So the large seaplane made some good progress on there. Again, started this on a live build and then done a couple episodes on it. Did a water test. Issue is there was a bunch of holes in there still is in the fuselage here where water could intrude from where the engines are. So let's go ahead and try to seal this up again. I don't know when I'm going to want to do another float test. I want to do a little sculpting. I want to do a little something different here. It's going to be easier once we get this moving. So I'm just checking in here, making sure everything is sealed up that needs to be sealed, and that will allow us to keep moving here. And so presently, let's start working on the nacelles. I'm not ready to fire these engines up yet. And so, but I like to try to get moving here. So I don't want the nacelles too large. You certainly don't want them larger than the propellers. So let's go ahead and get moving here. And so let's go ahead and turn on symmetry here. I'm going to do the general nacelle shaping. It would be easier for me to work on these if they were not enclosed, but I can always pull them if I need to. So trying to decide what shape I want these nacelles. Thinking, let's try this. Then that's going to be, what's a 1, 2, 3 in the middle. So that's not going to work. So let's go, I think let's go a little higher. So let's go wedge. So, initially I was going to hope to make flatter tops, but I think I'm going to make square tops. This will also give me some space in case I want to do something like different cooling. That is a little bit oversized. Let's run it and see what I think about it. I might not like this shape. May want to go with just a little bit more basic shape. I'm not so tall. Most of the nacelle is going to be above the wing. Yeah, that seems too tall. So let's go pretty. Yeah, so just, again, shaping issues and trying to get this how I want it. Yeah, that's definitely too spiky there. So let's try. Huh, this is interesting. This nacelle is going to be a pain to build here. If I went one wider, it would. What are we talking here? Engine's 3, then we have 5. It's an odd size. Yeah, I'm not really happy with the shape of this because this is going to have to go like this. And that's going to look too pointed. So I want to get this engine nacelle done here, and I want to kind of get shaped. So could go a little bit fatter and flatter on this. I think. Oh, come on, stop flying around like that. Let's try this. So let's go. Kind of set up the nacelle here. So let's go. Well, let's go fatter and flatter. And we can kind of point it out a little bit. So let's go across. And then let's do. I like the shape of that, but damn, it looks big. Yeah, see, it looks pretty big. The nice thing though is it gives me plenty of space because I'm not running any nacelle underneath. Um, so what I could do is drop it. Let's drop it. So actually, let's cut it that way. I don't have to do it on the other side. Let's try this instead. So. There we go. I think that's going to be good. I'll cut the height down a little bit. Give me a little bit better shaping. Let's try to finish this nacelle up and see how I like it. Nacelle is just, the area that connects it. All right, so I think I'm gonna like this a little bit better. Then I might do a bump out on the bottom. We can do some cooling and stuff. I want to run these nice and cool. I want to be able to have these screaming on takeoff too. I want a lot of power out of this. I want good speed and I want good range. And one thing is if I overpower the engines, what I can do is I can shut some of them down. And so I'm going to have to build that up. Let's see what I'm going to do here to finish this off. It's going to be a little bit of a pain, but it's not going to be too bad. Just trying to get the general shape of the nacelle before I spend a ton of time finishing it. Now let's try to get the front of it done, and then I can kind of see if that's where I'm going to go or if I'm going to do something different here. So maybe there I can start cutting down. So let's go ahead and grab some 1x2 wedge. So that's too steep. Okay, what is that hit? What is that hitting there? Because I can move a lot of the stuff. I don't want to move the, see, I could move the propellers up, move the engines down. I think that might be what I do. Let's do that. So let's leave the propellers in their current position. And let's centralize the engine. So yeah, let's do that. All right. So where am I at here? A little bit of a pain in the A to do this, but whatever, we'll be all right. I will survive. Just want to kind of get this wrapped, the engine kind of installed a little bit better. I'm not going to plumb it yet. That's to be done. So let's go ahead and cut this, move it down one. And then I'm going to redo the cooling systems, so that's fine where they are for right now. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to actually want to go and move the other one so that I can make them symmetrical. All right. And let's go ahead and start working on this nacelle on this side. So first I want to make it functional here. So now we have symmetry. So let's go ahead and I'm going to put on new superchargers for these and everything. So this will allow me to make them a little bit narrower. And so this will allow me to get the shape I want a little bit better. Yeah. So let me see what the shape I actually want is. Is that? That's not bad, actually. That is not bad, actually. I kind of like that shape, so that will be what I have there. All right, so that's going to give me the better nacelle shape anyway. I had them kind of favoring the top. I just didn't want the propellers to drop down, so this will allow me to keep the propellers up nice and high. All right, I should be able to finish this off pretty nicely here. So let's go ahead and try to finish this one off, and then I'll probably just duplicate the engines in the middle there in a second. Why can I not put all that on there? There we go. Okay, and then how do I want to finish this? I think what I want to do is let's cut out at least a row of that. Let's cut out 2 rows of those. And then let's go ahead and Grab 2x4s here. And give me that. People ask why I don't do hotkeys consistently. It's my preference. That's why I don't do it. I prefer to be a little bit more deliberate and click on what I want because I think about what I'm doing as I'm doing it. So that is why I generally don't use hotkeys. Generally want to take a second and think about what I'm doing next. That's why. Okay, I don't like that at all. Other option here is to might end them before they go to the back. And then can I fill this without this being a pain? I should be able to. I just pretty much want that will fill it for me. Yeah, so I'm kind of saying how I like that. That's not bad. All right, and so finish that up, and then once I kind of get these nacelles done, I'm just going to copy the engines over so that they all kind of match up. All right, so that's that. That's the top section. Let's do the under section here. I'm going to completely revamp the radiators. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of delete some stuff out, and then, like I was saying, I'm going to finish the engines up, and then I will go ahead and port them to the different spots once it's kind of done. So let's keep building here. Let's do the front of the nacelle. I think this is a little too soon. Yeah, that's definitely too soon with that pump, but that pump can move as well. I have more space now, so that pump can definitely move. So that's just part of the air cooling system, which I had on there. So I'm going to rebuild some of that stuff anyway. So, all right. You kind of square the front of these nacelles a little bit. And I either want square fronts or I want probably not. Yeah, I'm just kind of getting some of this detailed work done. I just want to get these at least a step closer to getting the engines where they'll be running. Wow, if I could hit the right key. There we go. Now we'll see how this looks. This might be a little bit rounded for my liking. Might go to twos and square it a little bit. I'm kind of leaning towards that, but we shall see. Probably leaning towards going to twos instead of 1x4s. I don't really want it that constricted at the front. But I'll see how this looks when I'm done. I don't want to completely finish this, so the top is going to be pretty symmetrical to the bottom. So let's go ahead and grab that. And we'll see how it looks. If I don't like it, I'll change it. And I need to copy that, rotate it, and I need to delete something out of there that I grabbed. Kind of digging that shape. That's not bad. That is fine if that's deleting things. I'm going to revamp some of this, and this needs to go back one anyway. Does it? Not really. Yeah, I want to kind of square there. All right, let's do that. And again, I'm going to completely copy these engines over the other side for all the slots once I kind of get them where I want them. Four engines is going to be a bunch of connection work and get them functioning the way I want. I want independent propellers for all four. I want independent throttles for all four. There'll be some collective control, but I like the look of this. This is looking how I want it to, so that's good. There'll be some collective control, so it's a little bit easier to operate, but I want independent control, especially taxiing the water. It's nice to be able to do that. All right, so that nacelle looks pretty good. I don't know about the back of it, but it's actually, I'm not displeased with it any. We'll do exhaust in the rear here at some point when I set that up. But that is my engine, so I'm going to go ahead and start trimming this one out. And I'm just doing it by hand just to, be a little quicker to probably select tool it, but shouldn't take me long, and I can make sure I get everything without getting anything I don't want to. Because these propellers, the inboards should be one out further than the outboards. That way you can get them closer together because the propellers are a little bit in line with one another. And so I'm going to redo a bunch of the plumbing there anyway. Why is this all screwy? I don't know. All right, I should have just cut them out, but here, let's undo that, but whatever. And I have to rotate the propellers, but here we go. I'm just going to select tool these out. All right, good. And that's done. Let's go ahead and grab this whole setup here, and we will grab all of that. That looks good. Let's put that one on the outboard, and then the inboards will come forward just a hair. And then we want to go inboard, so I just want one forward of the outboard. Actually, no, I'm keeping the post. I'll add the propellers independently. Do I want to go? I do want to go one forward, I think. Let's go two forward. Yeah, that looks good. What is this interact? Oh, just the bottom. Okay, that's fine. All right, good. So those are in. And I'll set the propellers up in a moment. In real life, you'd probably have, especially this era, this is, of course, my conglomeration of both modern and retro design, but you would probably often have like, if this was short Sunderland era, you'd actually probably have all the propellers turn in the same direction. It's actually very rare. with large aircraft that you would not. And one of the main reasons is you can take this engine, swap it for this engine, swap it for this engine. If not, the engine is actually built backwards. So like when you're doing training on a multi-engine aircraft, often you'll have, let's see, I think what I'm doing here. Often what you'll have is you'll actually have the, like say a Piper Seminole, what I did my multi-engine training on, the engine's actually kind of built backwards. And so the engines turn counter-rotating, and that makes it so you don't have a critical engine. Critical engine is which engine, essentially the prop wash goes over the tail, and so the problem is you lose an engine. In those small, general aviation training aircraft, you really don't, they they kind of joke that the second engine is not for, the second engine is there to get you to the site of the crash, is essentially what they say, and it really doesn't, it's really not all that, powerful enough to kind of carry the craft on its own. You need both engines to operate, where like, a large aircraft like a King Air or something, you could do a reasonable chance of getting back to the field on one engine. And so like a Piper Seminole, you pretty much, unless you're close to the airport, you could be in deep trouble. You might not be able to maintain altitude. You're going to have to put it down, but you have a greater chance of landing somewhere safe, let's put it, than in a single engine aircraft where you may end up crashing. So see if I might be able to, see, can I put something? I probably can. I like to make these 4s here, I think, as well. Okay. Yeah, let's do these 4s. I'll have to move something on the engine, but that's not a big deal. I can do that. Actually, I shouldn't have to. No, I shouldn't have to. Okay. The way I'm doing it, I shouldn't have to. But yeah, so this era type of aircraft, you really wouldn't want to have. It would be nice to have counter-rotating propellers, but it's very expensive, because you could theoretically have a hangar full of these engines, and if you need to, you could pull one and put a different one on. If you have, if they're counter-rotating, you need to have a set of the other ones too, and so you end up in a situation where you're having to keep double the spares, and if your left side keeps going out and your right side's fine, well, now you have this engine that you need to move out, and so it's kind of, you have to carry a ton of spares not knowing which engine's going to need to be replaced, so it's just prohibitively expensive. I want to kind of push that back to get rid of the gearbox, but I don't think I care. So let's make these actually all the same direction. Let's make these all left turning. We'll kind of do it the way you'd probably have it. Cut that. Let's go there. Paste. And then these will be, the front set will be ahead. Even though these are not in line, I'll do it that way. And I wish again that the arrows of the gearboxes and the diamonds of the weight blocks and all of that was only shown in the editor, or even better, selectable. I think making things selectable so that we can kind of choose what we want is the best way to go. If we want something decorative, we can have it. If we don't have to have it. Some people like to use the weight blocks as decoration. They can keep doing that, and those of us who don't want it for a particular build don't have to have it. So, I'm very much a big proponent of giving us the option of how we want to build our builds, and so I wish they would kind of embrace that. And they have a long to-do list. I'm not criticizing them too heavily on that, but especially that of all the things to criticize of things that could come in the game, it's pretty minor. But that's something that I would like to see, is the ability to kind of toggle those on and off, so that if you only want to see them in the editor, you can only see them in the editor. That would be nice, because I like to get rid of that arrow. It's kind of RP breaking and a little distracting. It's not the end of the world by any stretch of the imagination, but certainly not my preference. So I really like those nacelles. Those came out nicely. That's how I want them. I have space now to do 4s in the back, which I'm going to do all across. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a template here so that I'm not, I'm going to do a template here so I can do all 4 of them at once. And so pretty much see if I can't grab it off the top here. I may or may not be able to. I think I should be able to here. So, and then we should be able to go down. I should be able to grab that without grabbing any other crap. I grabbed one pipe, but that's all right. We'll copy that. And then I will just paste it and I'll delete the pipe off. All right, we'll cut that and that will be our bottom section of the nacelle. And we'll put those there, and so the bottoms will trail a little bit more. We have space, so. And then this one I want to go back. Do I want to go back one? No, these are back one. These are forward ones, so that would be, where's that line up there? The end is there, so that is, so where the hell is, the end is there, so I want to move that one there. There we go, okay. What's that, inbound? That's inbound, and then I'll do outbound. Paste, and then this one will be back one. All right. And I'm just going to check them. I'm just going to take like a lime green block, and we'll make sure those line up. They do. Make sure those line up. Can't really see it, but what I'll do is I'll plant it. I'll check the other side, make sure they're aligned. They are. Okay, good. Good. Merge these all up. So a little bit of decorating here and there. Again, I don't like to get too far into decorating before I know that this is going to be functional. But presently my issue is I need to make sure this is going to float properly. And so in order to get this to float properly, one of the things I want to do is I need to get it sealed. And so the nacelles we're letting air through, and they're still letting air through here, so I have to work on that. But I'm going to seal these engine bays up completely. These are going to be outside of the sealed area. Outside of the pressure vessel, if you will. And so I'm actually going to do that now. I'm going to seal these engine bays up. So we'll go ahead and completely seal these up. These will be my sealed engine bays. And that will be good for ensuring that, these can still be open and accessible, and I can have a hatch to look at the engines, which will be kind of cool. And then I don't have to worry about any water intrusion inside of the main part of the build. So I don't know how much I'm going to be creeping around in this build, in the wings rather, but they are reasonably large. I should be able to crouch in these wings. I really don't want to walk around too much. You'd be going in there for maintenance, but you're not going in there for a hangout. There'd be cables and there'd be all sorts, and then I'd have to decorate in here, put some struts and whatnot. So I really don't want to do that all that much. So those are sealed up, and that will allow me to do that. So let's go ahead and so that's good. That seals us up. We should have a sealed volume. Let's work on the tail. So I want to keep plenty of saves. So and I want to keep a bunch of saves for this. It's just so much work that I need to keep it going at it. So one thing I'm going to do first is I'm going to move the control surface all the way up. Apparently it is all the way up. Okay, so that stays where it is. All right, so that's fine. And then this whole tail section here is going to get reworked. So I've decided that I want my tail to be 3 wide. Definitely I think it will fit in there. There are a lot of smaller aircraft that have 3 wide tails and they look great, and this is looking way too thin, and this is kind of a chonkin beast. So I need to so what I want to do here is let's look at the short Sunderland. And there's also the Sangraham. I don't know what the difference between the two really is. So this is, again, this is somewhat inspired by this. Not really, not even thoroughly, but I'm taking some inspiration. I wish I could find a big picture that's not a pain. See, this one might be, nope, it's even tinier. I wish it would show how big the picture is before I opened it. But like if you look here, it has that, you know, in this case, the ball turret. I don't know how well you can see that. Let me see if I can open a new tab. Okay, that's not bad. You can see how it has the ball turret. So I would like to be able to go down into the tail and kind of see back there and put my horizontal stab down there, have it a conventional tail. Yeah, so I'm going to go from there. And a little bit of inspiration there. And so, you know, kind of work my tail a little bit here. And so what I think I'm going to do is, so the water was, let me bring up some pictures of the water line. You know, I had a good successful float. So you see how it's floating here? And so we can kind of barely see the back. There's actually quite a bit of tail sticking out. I don't think I have a tail shot. I do have a tail shot of it floating. I took all pictures. So right here, you see how well the tail's showing? So I can actually go pretty low, and I don't mind if this bottom section is touching the water. So that's great. That's fantastic. That will make it pretty easy for me to be able to integrate the tail the way I want to. So let's go ahead and start getting in there. So right underneath this is going to be the accessible area. So we can refer to it as that. So I'm not sure how far back I can go here. So that's going to touch there. So there, I'd say, is probably as close as I can get. I might already be as close as I can get. So let's see. Okay, so that's it right there. All right, so I think I want that to be glass anyway. Let's go window. And so what we're going to do, we can't do very far. 1 by 2 by 2 maybe. That's probably about as, yep, that's about what I can do there. That's not bad, okay. And then probably, so if I do a 1 by 3 and then 2, that's 5, and then 2 more, that's 7. That gives me a full standing distance. Yeah, I think a 2 is what I want. I kind of want to crouch in there. I don't want to be fully standing back there. And we'll make this symmetrical here. All right, so I'm trying to see where I can put that. Go down there. Okay. And so we'll kind of build it off of that. We'll make it 3 wide. We'll make it pretty narrow back there. I kind of want to, you know, be 3 wide inside, and then it'll be 5 total. So that's not too bad. What's this going to be actually? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me see how. Let me see. I need to find if my guy, how small my guy can get. So what's that? 3. This is 4, 5 right here. This is 5 here. So let's see if I can get in the wing here, and I'll test it out. Just kind of, you know, space it, see how tight I can get my character in there. So this is 5, and I can get into 4. So 4 is about what I want. So that would be good. That will let me get it nice and small. I don't want it to have to be too big. So that will be 1, 2, 3, 4. That's perfect. So there's the floor of my little bubbly area. And I'll probably end up going down a block anyway. So like that. That's probably what I'm going to do there. And I'll integrate that a little bit better, but I'm just trying to cut out the space so that I have the space in there. And it's just be kind of like a cool little observation area that my character can go down there and interact with. Just for the fun of it, you know. Nice. It's cool having some fun little spots that character can kind of go into. And you know, my grandfather in World War II, he used to have to crawl in the actual wings of the B-26s to work on them as a mechanic. So it was, you know, I find that super cool, that sort of thing. Let's go window. where am I at here on this one? I think that would be 2s, right? Full 2s. Yeah, it wouldn't be the worst thing to make this a little wider, but actually probably going to window that. I think a little wider actually. So yeah, I think doing that wider will actually look better, and it'll certainly function better. What a 1 by 2 by 2, so I want a 2 by 2 by 2. The hell is it? I always struggle to find these sometimes. That's that curve business that I don't want. I'm going to struggle to find the Windows sections I want. There it is. All right. It's tough. The pictures are difficult to kind of see what you're looking for. Of course, I grabbed the wrong arrow there, so. Oh, this needs to be even or else it's going to be a bonky wonky. Yeah, let's not do that because I still have to put walls in there. Try to decide how I want to do this here. Trying to decide how I want to do this because he'll be very crouched. Let's try this with Windows and see where I end up. Just get rid of these for now. Definitely not. I can never get these lined up right. It takes me like 5, 6 flips to get these right, and then I'm like still pulling my hair out trying to do it. Yeah, everybody's probably screaming at how to do it. I know it drives me nuts trying to do those. Trying to think because I don't want to make this huge. I kind of want to make it a crawly little space. So let's me finish it up, and then that way, and see where I'm at after that. Where are we at? What is that? 1 by 3 by 1, 2 by 1 by 1. Okay, and then I want these on the bottom. Oh my God! Come on, come on, come on, come on! That's the sort of thing that just takes you forever for no apparent reason. I need a 1 by 2 there. So I kind of want to feel how this space feels out. This is going to be kind of a cool like point of interest in the build, so I want it to be kind of cool, you know? And then let's go 1 by 3 by 1 here. Like so, and then I want a 3 by 3 by 3. 3 by 3. And then I want the floor to be a little bit flatter, I think, so. And then I'll take, where the hell is it? This one? You can never tell which one goes here. I think the regular diamond there. Again, the constant battle of finding the right window pieces to do whatever you're planning on trying to do. There we go. All right, and then, oh, that's not going to work with this, will it? No. I'll get this figured out here eventually. All right, we'll get this figured out eventually here. You know, the auto-filling type of windows would be really super cool, but I don't think we get those. You know, kind of like Thales windows. There's kind of a cool little tail spot there to go in. That's going to be one there, so I do need to bump this out. So the tail, like I said, is going to be 3 wide anyway. So that will be that. And then this will go in there like so. And let's go. That's going to be as difficult as possible, isn't it? Not going to make my life easy here. I want to go one down. I don't know where I put that where I did. And that's not looking too bad there. Because this is going to be, like I said, you know, I'm fattening this tail up, so it's 3, but this will probably taper at this point, so I have to keep an eye on it. But so it kind of helped me learn how to sculpt my new tail once I kind of know where this is going to be. What I could do is, how many blocks? 1, 2, 5. Yeah, so yeah, I could do that. Let's do this. Cut that. Cut all of this, and then put 2 wedges at the bottom. That'll be fine. Keep that there, and then cut this. Go down. I'll make it a little bit flatter on the bottom because that's where the actual dude is going to stand. So, yeah, like that. And then I'll work with the shape, and you know, might recut some windows. That's kind of going to be where the guy stands. And then I want this whole tail plane's fattened up to a 3. And then we're cutting the back here. All of that will be 1, 2, 3, 4s. And do I have a wedge, 4 wedge? I do. So this will be kind of like this. Then I'm going to hinge and put the big fat tail on the other side. So that'll be a nice thick tail there. That looks better. Pyramid, 1x4 pyramid here. There we go. Yep, so I'm digging that. That's starting to look the business. And then it's kind of telling me where I need to integrate my tail. Get out of there, you. There we go. I think that gives me my tail shape there. Actually, probably. That's better. All right, so that's going to be kind of where my dude sits in there. So let's go ahead and I'll start shopping this here to get this kind of where I need it. So again, I like these kind of you know, these little nooks and crannies where your people are going to go in and out of. Really makes a build really fun and cool, and makes it a lot of fun to operate. You know, kind of just getting in and out of those areas, and you know, they may not be very functional, but that's kind of not the point. The point is, you know, that they're fun. You know, we can put a seat in there. It's just gonna be tough to get out. I'll have to use the trick where you you know, come off of a, jump off another seat or something. Oh. Yeah, the tail plane was something I wasn't happy with in the beginning either, but, you know, it just wasn't time to work on it either, so. And I could put 4s in there and mate them up here. I don't know. We'll see. It's probably going to be easier to do that. I think I will do that. Let's go ahead and continue these 4s in here. I'll make this a little bit bigger of a space for this guy to operate in. Once he gets out of that main tail section, I can even cut into that a little bit. And you have to crouch just in the end. I don't like how abruptly this stops here. Probably rather 1s and then 2s, I think. That's what I'm thinking, so. And I don't know how this is going to integrate. I think it's going to integrate better with some 1s, definitely. Yeah, that will integrate better because that turns into 1 section, so. Definitely. So, and then cut out another section, and then we'll put some 2s wedges in there. Yeah, that's better like that. That's definitely a lot better. Okay. So just kind of working this area out and seeing how I can set this up to operate for me. So what can I put in there? Okay. There, that looks pretty good. I like that. That's starting to get, this area is a problem, but I can fix this. Should be able to fix that at some point. But again, you know, like I said, you're way up close to the build. You see these angles and they bug you, but once you get it built in the world, it won't be a problem anymore. Yeah, you'll barely notice it. It's just you're so close to the build, you start to they start to bother you, and then you get further away from the build, and you know you're fine with it. So. All right, so starting to get this tail finished up here. So let's start cutting in. Again, I want to get this 3x tail. Definitely the chonkier tail is going to be better. It's going to be easier to integrate. It's not going to look as out of place. Currently, it looks super out of place. And so I can start to kind of deal with this the way I want it. And I can cut out the middle section here. So I'm actually going to cut most of this middle section out. That will give me some more buoyancy. It'll also lighten up the tail a little bit. I don't want the center of gravity coming back too far. This is a large enough build. I'm not concerned about, you know, it being oversized, really. Okay. And so I'm kind of looking at the Sunderland's tail. It doesn't go that far back, but I need to, you know, it stays flat all the way out the back. I didn't like how it sloped down early, so I'm kind of going to probably cut in here. I cut in here, I'm trying to shape my tail, and then this will be finished. Yeah, this is a ugly section here to try to get done, so. Trying to think how to finish this area back here, but it's going to be a challenge because this, I don't really have blocks for that. So I kind of want to look at my shape here, see how much tail I need. So I kind of need a 1x4 too steep. Kind of look at the Sunderland's tail. That actually doesn't look off from the Sunderland's tail. So to kind of show you what I'm working with here, that's the Sunderland's tail's angle right there. And if we look at the angle of mine, looks pretty close right there. So might go with the 1x4s. Yeah, I kind of think I want to go with the 1x4s. They almost stop very abruptly. Is there any way I can get a block in? Yeah. Okay, that goes. This goes. Yeah, I'm good now. I've kind of catching my stride on figuring these blocks out. Sometimes, your brain just doesn't want to compute which blocks go in there. Now we're starting to compute. So, okay, there we go. There we go. So I'm starting to get where I need to be here on this one. What I could probably do is actually cut that out, go in here like so. Cut this here. Put in like that. Take this, that there. Center span goes all the way in like that. I definitely want to sculpt the edge here, but I'm just going to go flats for now, and then I'll sculpt it in a minute. But yeah, that's fine. That it'll poke out a little bit, but I'm not really concerned. It won't look, you won't, again, you won't be able to see it. I'll put some decorative items there that kind of make that blend right in. So, yeah, I don't want to be too careful with it. Can kind of be all right. So I just kind of want to get this tail plane finished up here. But this would be a cool little area to have here. And so I'm trying to get this integrated all up in here. Take me just a second to kind of get that. Yeah, definitely the 3 wide tails looking a lot better. All right, that's really looking much better. That's looking pretty good. It's looking more correct. It was way too thin before. Hollowing out that tail is going to add a bunch of space there too for air volume. Nice, so that's looking good. And then the tail is going to fold. And thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, guys. We'll see you in the next one.